The next topic we're going to discuss on Boxing Bros are your thoughts on the media, particularly Stephen A. Smith body shaming the new unified heavyweight champion of the world, Andy Ruiz. I'll start with Gene on this one.
Alright. I'm actually not, and this is talking on behalf of all the big brothers, you know what I'm saying? So as a big man myself, I'm not necessarily mad at Stephen A. Smith for what he was saying. I think what he was doing was speaking to the general public, right? So people who don't necessarily know about boxing, that's how they perceive the fight to be. You lost to a dude that looks like Butterbean, you know what I mean? So I get it, you know? However, you know, as a person who is big, that's, you know, pretty athletic, it doesn't necessarily matter about the fat content, right? You know, and this is where I agree with my co-host on, like, you don't need to look like a bodybuilder to box. You don't need that, you know what I'm saying? Like, however, the mainstream public, right, when they see Ruiz, they're like, how the hell did this guy beat Anthony Joshua that looks like, you know, a cast member off of, you know, Baywatch or something, you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? 300, yeah, you look like the African 300, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, I get it, you know. And to me, it's like with Stephen A. Smith, I'm pretty sure he purposely did that, you know. You know what I mean? It's just like, you get hits on YouTube, you know, people they like those type of comments, you know, like realistically, it's like, come on, AJ, you shouldn't have lost to him. And I get it, because perception-wise, it's not good for his brand, you know, like, you're supposed to go through a Ruiz based on how he looked, not based upon Ruiz's skills. People ain't looking at Ruiz as, this dude is that guy. They're looking at it like, Ruiz look like a fat Mexican. He looks short, but even though he's 6'2", people are like, he's short, he's fat. You should have ran through him, you know. And it's like there's no reward for AJ really. Like it's kind of like he went into that fight like if I knocked him out, they're like, yeah, you're supposed to knock him out. But now that he lost, it's like, damn, you lost to this dude. So when I hear Stephen A. Smith's comments, I don't really get as offended as some people are saying, like, you're fat shaming Ruiz. Ruiz been fat shamed his whole life. Let's just keep it real. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think that's going to make or break Ruiz. In fact, I think, if anything, it's going to make him more popular because he defied the odds. You know what I'm saying? And he did what a lot of people can't do. You know what I mean? To be honest with you, you know how people call Ruiz the Mexican Rocky? I don't agree. I think AJ is Rocky from Part 3. And Ruiz is the Mexican club away. Oh yeah, Joe. I think that's the comparison.
Hey, listen, big boys, y'all better show Ruiz some love. Okay, y'all gonna be in style all summer because of Ruiz. True. What was the question? The question was, what are your thoughts on the media, particularly Stephen A. Smith, body shaming Andy Ruiz?
First of all, Stephen A. Smith is just talking. That's what he's doing. That's what he gets paid to do. He gets paid to run his mouth. But sometimes he just says some things just to say it. But I'm sure Stephen A. Smith I know Stephen A. Smith is a smart brother. And I know sometimes he just be talking just to talk. We know from the history of boxing that there's no blueprint on how a fighter's supposed to look. Okay, for example, George Foreman knocked out Michael Moore. George Foreman wasn't cut up. You got fighters like Fernando Vargas, who used to knock people out. Fernando wasn't known for being a cut-up guy. You have other people. You mentioned Butterbean, and Butterbean will take your head off. You know what I mean? He will take your head off. There's other fighters. I was going to get to Felix Trinidad. Felix Trinidad doesn't look like a fighter, but that left hook will put you to sleep. Not only that, we got skinny fighters that were just tall, skinny, and lanky. One of my favorites, Thomas the Hitman Hearns, and he will put your lights out. We have other fighters we have fighters that look like prime specimens, like Jeff Lacey. He looked great. I remember one time he came in the ring and took his robe off, and the fighter quit. And then look what happened. He got into a fight with Joe Kawasaki. Joe Kawasaki looking like he just drunk 6 beers before he went in that fight. And he dominated it. So the history of boxing has showed us that you don't have to be this big jacked up guy to be one of the best champions. Even if you look at Canelo sometimes doesn't look too ripped. You know what I'm saying? So that's just the perception, and I don't want the regular public to get confused and thinking that you have to be this jacked and ripped dude to be the champion, because you don't. You just have to have skills. And like my co-host beside me says, you have to train to go the distance. And you have to train well. You know what I mean? It really doesn't have to so much to do with your physical physique. I'm enough on that. I'm done.
Right. And just to jump in, I think you brought up some marvelous examples of how the body type means absolutely nothing. But Left Hook Lacey was the man in Fight Night Champion. Yeah, and Fight Night Champion, I am undefeated with Left Hook Lacey against my brother.
It's a cheat code.
True.
It's a cheat code.
Listen, Left Hook Lacey could lose every round. He get beat up terribly, and in the 12th round, knocked the opponent out, and then he couldn't get up. So he was a cheat code in Fight Night. But just to harp on that, I think talking about Andy Ruiz in that way, it discredits the hard work that he does, because just because his body looks that way, I pointed out the work he does in the gym. He works tremendously hard in the gym. He's a fit, conditioned athlete. So to talk about him like he's not in shape, it disrespects the work he puts in. So I'll give you another example that isn't related to boxing, but shows the point that Trill was making. Look at NFL linemen. Take an NFL lineman who's about 280 pounds. Look at his 40-yard dash time. He runs like a 4.8, a 4.7. There are elite boxers who are 154 pounds. They couldn't run a 4.8 if you took them on a track. But this 280-pound man who's on a line can. And he has a little gut. But he has a lot of muscle and he has a lot of speed. And that's why people are looking at Andy Ruiz and they're saying, oh, look at how fast he is. Well, you see that in the NFL all the time. Look at Vince Wilfork. Yo, half you people sitting on your couch laughing at Vince Wilfork could not beat him in a race. Like, stop with this. Like, an athlete is an athlete. There's no blueprint on what an athlete should look like. You saw what Andy Ruiz is capable in the ring. Give the man his respect. And just respect the next fat guy you get into a fight with, because he might put you to sleep.
No, number two, they did the same thing with Fury when he fought, right before he fought
Tyson Fury.
Yeah, no, it was like, oh, he's fat, look at his love handles. They downplayed him off of just his appearance alone. Like, that has anything to do with boxing skill, boxing IQ. You know what I mean? Like,
Please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel and leave a comment. Any comment, doesn't matter, positive, negative. We're tough. We got thick skin. We can handle it. And please check out our Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter pages.